I'm Chris Gianetti. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Community Outreach and Communications at Jackson Public Schools. Today I am here with Wendy Adams and Jamie Woodring, who are our German teachers at Jackson Public Schools and also the coordinators for the German Back-to-Back program. So the German Back-to-Back program has been going on a long time. So can you kind of give us some history about how it came about?
Sure. We had a teacher here, Val Bullen, and she started the program back in the 1980s, and we've been going back there every other year since that time. So I could say that we've probably taken thousands of students over there and had thousands of students from Germany come here to Jackson.
It's always an exciting time when they come over too, you know, very interesting the things they get to see. So is there like a sister city that you've been working with over in Germany for a number of years?
Yeah, we actually have a sister city and a school. So the school we go to is called Lothar Meyer Gymnasium. It's a high school for kids that are on their way to college. And we're in the city of Varel. It's V-A-R-E-L. It's near Bremerhaven up in the northern part of Germany. So we're right on the North Sea. So we're able to do some great trips with the kids up there. We get to go up onto the coast. We get to walk out onto the mud, which is really exciting. We go to Berlin, spend a whole day in Berlin. We got very wet in Berlin this year because it did not stop raining. But otherwise, we had a great time in Germany this summer.
I heard they had some rain here too when they were here. So I guess you can never predict the weather. Yeah. So when you talk about back-to-back, what does that mean? What does back-to-back mean?
So it's meant to be a back-to-back exchange. So we go in the summer and stay with families that host our students. And then in the fall of the next school year, the German students that we stayed with come back and stay with the American students.
So when how does a student become involved in the German back-to-back program? Does it start earlier than high school, or how does it start?
Well, we offer German language classes in the middle school, and so I start talking about it then because I love it so much. And then once students get through 8th grade, then every other year, on the odd years usually, we advertise a program, and if a student's interested, then they just come and talk to myself or Frau Adams. We have an application process that they go through, and then we get ready to go.
So does every student who travels to Germany, is it required that their family then host a student, or are you looking for other host families as well?
No, it's not required. It is ideal if they can do that because they forge a relationship that way and a bond that is really long lasting. But we've had seniors that go on the trip, and of course they're off to U of M or wherever, and so they can't host, so we find another host student from the school. And that works out also for the kids that can't afford to go because they can still be involved because they can host somebody. And it's an amazing experience. And they get to go on all the field trips with them, so they get to have that time together.
And I understand from some of what I've heard from the students and even the families that these are lifelong relationships that get made and a real big interest in traveling overseas.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of students that go multiple times. So we've had students that have gone twice. Their siblings have gone also. And then those families have formed bonds where they sometimes, years later, they go over for a wedding or they go over for a baby shower or something like that. So it's been really amazing to have those people come back in the community and talk to us and say, oh, I went on the trip and we still have contact with our student. And it was such an amazing experience, and they get to have those international friends.
I think one of the interesting things about it too is the extension of the classroom, right? So not only are they learning German, but then there's an opportunity to go and travel and see and get immersed in that culture. How is the language barriers for the kids and families when they have a German student come this way, or vice versa?
I would say there's not a really strong barrier because a lot of the German students learn English at a really young age. So even if their parents don't have the best English, the students are really good. And then of course their teachers are available too to help them out. And then what I've seen is that my students improve their German dramatically and have way more
confidence.
Yes, more confidence, more interest in going back to Germany and kind of showing off what they've learned and revisiting their family. And similarly, when the German students come here, there is more of a language barrier because not so many parents here speak German to help them out, but our students have been learning German long enough and have our support as well to make sure that everybody understands one another.
Right. And what are the things that you pick to do when you do the back-to-back? Like when you're headed over to Germany, what kinds of things are you looking to see, and what kinds of things are you looking to have them experience while they're here in Jackson?
Now, one of the big things that we do when we're in Germany is go to a special museum where every student is given a boarding pass, like a visa, and they pretend to board a ship coming to America. And they get to follow that person's experience on the ship and see, were they first class, were they second class, you know, where did they sleep, where did they spend their time, how did the dining hall look? And then at the end, they get to go into a movie room and they get to find out what happened to that person when they came to the United States and the rest of their life. So that was a really exciting experience. And we also try to see like Berlin because it's the capital city and it's a huge city. And when they come here, we take them to Chicago because that's the closest big city we can get to.
Or Detroit, right? Yeah, I bet that's a great experience for them as well. How typically long does the trip last? We
usually go for about 2.5 weeks and take a couple days on our own in Frankfurt so we can visit a castle and see Frankfurt's kind of the banking capital, so we can see some of the big skyscrapers, but also the old town, and it's a big city. And then here, the Germans just came for 2 weeks. It was the shortest that they've stayed this most recent time because the rules about how long the teachers could be out of school have changed recently.
And they typically come while we're in school, while our students travel on their summer break. Are they in school during that time?
Yeah, and that's part of the thing that we look for, is like we want to immerse our students in the full experience of what German life is. So it's not just field trips and points of interest. They're also in a German family and having German breakfast and getting packed lunch and seeing how the school day is different there than it is here, and exploring those kind of interests that they might not be exposed to.
Yeah, the school that we go to is very similar to Hunt School in the way it's laid out as far as their school year. So they're still in school in June. And so we always are able to spend a couple weeks in school with them. And then when they come here, they're on their fall break, which is a 2-week fall break. So they don't miss too much school when they're gone.
Yeah. Now, do you both get to go on these trips?
That's one of the perks of the job.
Now, do you stay with the same host families as the kids, or?
Well, I stay with the same family I've stayed with since I started. So that was 1993. I think that was my first trip, and yeah, so I've stayed with the same 2 teachers. They're both retired now, so they're enjoying life on cruises, and I'm going to be joining them very shortly on that, I believe. Yeah, we have a great time.
Yeah, and I've stayed with the same family that I've stayed with since I started. I think my first one was in 2011. And in fact, just after COVID, their daughter has dual citizenship, and she was able to come and stay with my family and spend some time in my classroom because she's studying to be an English and religion teacher in Germany.
Oh, wow. Now, typically I'm sure there's a cost that goes along with this. How do your students raise the dollars to be on this trip? What kinds of things are offered to them to do that?
Yeah, we have fundraising that students do. This year we made candles, which was a great hit. And we've done other types of fundraisers throughout the years. We also have a scholarship program. Usually the GAP, the German-American Partnership Program, offers some scholarships that students can apply for. And this year we were able to get from the John George Foundation, they gave us actually $20,000. And we were able to offer, I think we had 6 full ride scholarships, and I think 9 students got partial scholarships. So that really helps offset that cost. And if you think of going to Europe and how much that would cost you to go, our trip is nowhere near what you would pay if you were on your own. And you have the advantage of having 2 German speakers with you every step of the way. The students are never left alone. They always have someone with them that speaks for them if they need help.
I would imagine it's pretty much the travel costs, right? Because once they get there, the host family takes care of them, and then there's events together and things like that, so that cuts down on a lot of the costs. Do you all travel together then? Like, so when you get there and they go to their host family, do you then meet up every day and do different things as a group?
Yeah, usually we have a homeroom at the beginning of the day. We go to school with our student, and then we all get together so we can decompress and kind of discuss what's going to happen next in the day, and then we leave from the school to do our day trip sometimes, and otherwise we let them go and follow their student through classes and see what the school day is like. But we don't expect them to do homework or anything while they're there.
Well, then I'm going. So tell me, what are some of the greatest things that you've heard from kids from both sides about doing the German back-to-back?
I think that kids mostly before they even get home are saying, I want to go again next time. What do I have to do to come again? And they're staying in contact, and now with social media it makes it so much easier. I mean, when we first started, we were writing letters, and it would take 2 weeks to go across the ocean, you know, and now it's instantaneous. And so they're staying in contact, and that's an amazing thing that we have that opportunity now. And it's so interesting, we had funny things happen that you don't expect to happen. Like the German kids got a lunch from the school, and one of the boys was like, oh, buttermilk, cool. And he opens it and he starts to drink it. And his teacher's like, no, 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 that's dressing for your salad. You don't drink that. Because in Germany, they drink buttermilk for health, you know?
Yeah,
and so
right.
it was really funny. They laughed.
I was talking to a family at Jaxpo, and they had said that they were kind of hesitant, you know, they weren't sure they wanted to do this, but they said it was absolutely the best experience that they had, and that they actually joined up and stayed, and rather than have their daughter come back right away, they went out and continued,
Right.
you know, a trip there too. So I think it brings a lot to a lot of folks to be able to go. How many kids did you guys take this year?
25.
Wow, so that's
Yeah.
a big group.
We had a very large group this year. We've had as small as 8. I think that was our smallest group. And so we've had the gambit between, and we're hoping, we were worried about this because of COVID. We weren't sure if parents would be willing to send their children so far away from home, but we actually had so many people interested. It was amazing. So.
Because they've been home for so long.
Yeah, they're ready to go. They're ready to get out.
It's time for them to go. So if someone wanted to get involved in the program, kind of what are the steps that they need to do as parents, if they want to be a host family, or even just getting their own student involved?
I mean, they can start by taking German classes.
Yeah, that's number one.
But also, even if you're not currently enrolled in a German class and you're interested in going again, then you can contact myself or Frau Adams up at the high school, and we can provide all of the extra information. We won't travel again until 2025.
Right.
So it'll be a little bit.
We'll have our first meeting in October of 2024, and so then people can come to the first meeting, see what it's all about, see some pictures. We do a slideshow and show, you know, these are some of the things we'd be doing, these are some of the expectations when you go over there, and then people decide if they're going to go or not.
Well, I thought the pictures that were posted on Facebook this year were just amazing of the things so I encourage people to check that out, to check out our Facebook page at Jackson High School. But I think it's one of the most amazing programs we have, and not a lot of people know that we're doing it. And I think it's really important that we get it out there, because I think it provides an interest in a foreign language that goes a little bit farther, right? You know,
and that's one of the things that I found really interesting. I met up with a former exchange student recently, and she said that she was a little bit nervous because she didn't take German, and then she went with us, and it gave her the confidence as a young adult to then travel later to South Africa and to do things that she probably wouldn't have done had she not had the support of the program while she was in high school.
It's a great introduction to traveling overseas. I think a lot of people are nervous about doing it, and then having something this protected, right, where they can kind of regulate what you're doing, but then you're learning how to move around a foreign country is really wonderful.
Yeah, we're trying to navigate the streetcars and the buses and, you know, all
because it's all different.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a very different experience, you know, and I think that these programs that stay around and continue really broaden up the horizons for a lot of our students. So. Yeah. Well, we appreciate what you do. It's fantastic, and we want to make sure that everybody does know about the program, but just about taking German in general and how great it is to be a Viking every day.
It is.
Yes.
Danke.